Hey guys, just wanted to shoot a quick update video. I had a pretty severe reaction last night. I used EC3 laundry soap, laundry additive, and I had read really good things about it, and I don't think it works. I'm not sure if it works at all. I had major difficulty breathing last night. My eyes got red and watery. Everything, like my whole system kind of shut down, and my stomach was just raw. It was crazy. I'm the only thing I did differently was I showered and put on a fresh white t-shirt that had come out of the laundry that I'd used. It was a brand new t-shirt, but I'd washed it with some things that had some mycotoxins in it. So, I don't know, it just seems like it's a constant thing of underestimating how potent mycotoxins are and how much they suppress the immune system and affect the sinuses, because I was having difficulty breathing. My lungs were really hurting. And so how mycotoxins work is they hit the system and the body. They're a reactive oxygen species, so they're instantly sending a cascade of free radicals through the body that the body has to respond to with its own master antioxidants, like glutathione. And so it causes the inflammation, and that causes oxidative stress, and then that leads to depletion of the capabilities of the intestinal immune system. So the gut immune system is really affected, and that's how you're digesting nutrients and enzymes and things. And so I was just looking at like the whole process of how we raise cattle and how we raise food, and the grains are all testing positive for aflatoxin B1, the most like damaging, lethal chemical on Earth. And our grass-fed, grass-finished beef is subsidized all winter long with grain. I mean, with grass, hay, and things like that have been stored, that have mold because they're not stored properly. So they're treating our grass now that we're giving to the cattle with zeolite and bentonite clay and like all these different binders and antioxidants. So they're creating antioxidant support for these cattle because they're not reproducing very well, and they're not their health is declining. And then they kill those animals, and then we eat them. And then if you look at, like, okay, so let's say you want to go off of beef, which is ridiculous because once your protein levels drop too low, especially if you've got mold poisoning issues and mycotoxin poisonings, meat can really, really help sustain you. Well, you go off of that, you're still stuck with all the moldy stuff that's coming up in nuts and legumes that are stored incorrectly. Rice, all of it's tested positive. All of it's testing positive for mycotoxins. It's very rare to find anything that doesn't test positive. So if this stuff is ubiquitous, if it's absolutely everywhere, then there's a problem with the system. There's a problem with the way we're doing things. And there's no easy solution, which means that if we've got to deal with this, and if you happen to be chemically sensitive to aflatoxin or gliotoxin or ochratoxin or any of these mycotoxins, then well, we're in the same family then. So we're in the same group, which means that we have to be looking for ways to bind those mycotoxins, get them out of the sinuses, which is where they end up living, in the sinus tissue. They end up living the longest. Get them out of our fat cells through sweating and exercise, and keep them from recirculating. And that way we can experience some level of healing. So the gut microbiome, 70% of our immune system is pretty much from there. And once that drops down, our thyroid kicks in. So a lot of people that have mold and mycotoxin poisoning have major thyroid issues. That's because their thyroid's having to pick up and help out, and it's working too hard. So we develop either hyper or hypothyroidism. And that it's really important to be taking selenium. And if you want it from a natural source, you can't really get it from it, because one of the top 4 tested things in nuts is Brazil nuts, and that's where you get selenium from. So there's not a lot of other places you can get it from. I mean, eggs, you just have to eat too many. There's just not a lot of places where you can get it from naturally. So you then have to supplement. And I don't know if you've ever taken selenium, but it's gross. It tastes terrible, even in the pill. It's when it hits your stomach, it's gross. And then you can easily dose too much. So 50 milligrams, micrograms, I'm sorry, is about max. And I think that most of them just come in between 1 and 200 micrograms. So you can supplement, and that's going to help out with your immune system. But the ideal is to get the gut working. Well, it takes 7 days for those cells to regenerate in the gut after they've been assaulted by mycotoxins. And that's only if your glyphosate levels aren't too high. If you have really high glyphosate levels, then you're really going to want to be on Pectosol. You're really going to want to be on binders that can get glyphosate out, because this is how you can get into comorbidity, which is where you have multiple infections, and it starts to become hard to figure out what's viral, what's bacterial, what's parasitic, and what's mold. So we don't want it to get to that place, and a lot of people, unfortunately, are already at that place. So the exposure that I had just showering and putting on some fresh, clean clothes that I'd washed with a product that's supposed to denature mycotoxins didn't work. And what was weird is, I did something really silly. I could smell the smell of like the citrus. It's got like tea tree and citrus oils and different things like that, extracts in it, and it smelled delicious. It smelled great. So I just took a big whiff of the shirt, and I was thinking it should be fine because this stuff denatures it. And also, this is a new shirt that I did. I included it with the laundry of the stuff that had been exposed to mycotoxins. And yeah, it was just completely clogged me up. It was buzzing, as if I'd just been completely freshly exposed to mold again. So you need so little of this stuff if you have a sensitivity or a hypersensitivity, because your body is developing this stress response to it. It believes it's being attacked. And so I was up most of the night, and just from smelling my shirt, showering and putting a fresh shirt on and then smelling it. And so there's my laundry, my wardrobe, there's some of my stuff, and I've got to get rid of it. I got to toss it out, because I'm not going to keep doing 25 loads of laundry, 32 loads of laundry, and trying to get this stuff out of my clothing. So what I read is that it binds very easily. It's hard to get out, and it's very stable and durable. So it can last for a couple of years, and I just don't want something on my body that close to me that could be affecting me. So it means like having to say goodbye to your wardrobe. And I got to go out today and get a few new items of clothes, and I'm going to be very minimalist, because I had just, in the last couple of months, I just I had gone out and bought some new hoodies and some new tracksuits and some cool new stuff, new shirts and stuff. I dropped, a couple of $1,000, and I gotta toss all that stuff now. I gotta toss both of my Arc'teryx jackets. That's like $1,400 right there. And so it's like it really has a costly effect. Mold does, and the fact that so many people are suffering from mycotoxin poisoning is just crazy. So, I feel for you guys. I'm looking into how we can quickly get mycotoxin out of us. There seems to be very little effort that's been put into this, considering how many people are suffering. And I'm going to find out what we can do and what doctors we can work with to come up with products that that beat what we've got on the market. Because if we're all people who are sensitive to it, are all being constantly exposed to it, and our even our meat sources and the things that we rely on and our fruits and vegetables are all being exposed to it, then we have to have a better maintenance system than the couple of products that are on the market that seem to be slow, and there are also, they just seem to be slow and not as effective as I would want them to be. And of course, it's a complicated process because mycotoxins can dissolve right through the body and directly into the bloodstream very quickly. So it's really important that we find a way to bind them and get them out of us so that they're not recirculating month after month after month as we accrue more and more mycotoxins in our body. So anyway, these are just a couple of the things that I wanted to share, that I was concerned about, that I was frustrated about, that I'm bummed about. I'm sure many of you guys could relate, and many of you guys already were intelligent enough to walk away from all your belongings. We just didn't have that. It just wasn't there psychologically. I just wasn't ready to do it. But after last night, I was like, no, I don't want to feel this way. I don't care what the expense is, and what it's going to cost to fix. I don't want to feel this way by putting on a t-shirt. So I had to get some fresh clothes, and I'm super bummed because I don't have anything to put on, and I got to go figure out what I'm going to wear. I have no shirt on right now, and I don't want to put on anything that I have. So these are the struggles. The struggles are crazy. And so I feel for anyone out there who's dealing with this stuff, and wish you all the best and the strength and everything that you need to make it through today. And anyway, cheers.